Hello, my name is Alana, and I am from the equality sector of our youth organization, YAF, Youth Action for the Future, where we strive to educate youth on problems going on in our world. Today, I will be talking about homelessness. If you didn't know, to be homeless is to have no home. Most homeless people live on the streets. You may be wondering, why is homelessness such a big deal? Well, in places like America, more than 500,000 people are homeless, according to the HUD, which is the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or places like Syria, the country with the biggest homelessness rate. They have more than 5 million people living on the streets, though a lot of this is due to the recent earthquakes, which have left a lot of people with no homes. Back to the main question, homelessness is a big problem because homelessness kills. So many people that are described as dirty or lazy are just people with a lack of resources and opportunities. Since the pandemic, because of the change in economy and people losing their jobs, the homeless rate has drastically increased. Some of the main causes of homelessness, though not all, are unaffordable housing, lack of education leading to lack of job opportunities, lack of health care, disorders or illnesses, addiction, poverty, and domestic abuse. And as a side note, none of these are in any particular order. I will now explain a few of these. If you would like me to cover one of these that I don't in the video, I will do so in a future video, so long as you mention it to me in the comments. First, unaffordable housing. Even before the pandemic occurred, people were already struggling with increasing prices of renting and buying places to live. While with the pandemic, this has become an even greater concern. Of course, this is due to the inflation in the economy, which has a lot to do with the increase in consumer prices due to a lack of resources and people available or willing to gather said resources. And, however, that is for another video. Unaffordable housing prices have left people with nowhere to live, and for some jobs, something they would need in order to get somewhere to live, make money. On the applications, they require an address to be put. People with no houses don't have easy access to electricity, which would most likely be needed to put in a job application considering the rise of technology. A lack of electricity also makes these people unable or have a harder time charging any electronics that they have. I need to redo that. A lack of electricity also makes these people unable or have a harder time charging any electronic devices that they may have. Because a lot of homeless people actually do have phones. Some of these people have had enough money at some point before their current situation to buy something like that. Or they may have gotten it as a gift. So, yeah. Next, I will be talking about the lack of job opportunities due to a lack of education. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Some people are born into poverty. It isn't always something to do with them losing their jobs, being lazy, or something of that degree. Generational poverty is a big problem, especially in communities of people of color. And some people don't have the privilege of being able to complete their high school education. They may have to work to help support their families to make ends meet. This is unfortunately common in developing countries. Most well-paying jobs require at least a high school degree. So because of things out of their control, people may not be able to find a job that will pay them a livable wage. Another thing that is worth mentioning is the increase in competition and price for college. Because of a cultural shift towards academics rather than jobs, it is harder for people to go to college. And a lot of jobs require at least a bachelor's degree. Or even now, a bachelor's degree is practically useless. So, yeah. The next reason is the lack of accessible healthcare. It already costs so much to take care of someone who is perfectly healthy. Now imagine having to pay the bills of someone who is constantly in and out of the hospital. In this economy, that isn't always an option. This is why so many disabled or ill people live on the streets. They can't afford to work, thus meaning they can't afford to get the help that they so direly need. This is a huge cause of death within the homeless community. Lastly, I will talk about domestic abuse and poverty, as they go hand in hand. Assuming you know the meaning of poverty, it is a big deal. Domestic abuse is most prominent in less developed areas and countries. There are a lot of reasons for this, such as lack of education, horrible actions done in the false name of religion, and social norms. I actually cover this in another one of my videos, which I will link down in the description. Anyway, victims of domestic abuse or even past victims usually don't have access to resources to get a job or to even get out of the abusive relationship that they may be in. Even if they can, it might not be a well enough paycheck to get them to get them out of their horrible situation. So when they eventually do leave their abusive relationship, they are left on the streets to fend for themselves with no house and basically no money. Again, these are not all the problems for homelessness, but it is all I have time for at the moment. Homelessness is not something that most people strive for. So next time you think about speaking negatively about a homeless person, think about the possible situation that they may be in and how one day that could be you. If you were in that situation, you wouldn't want someone talking horribly about you. Have some empathy for people in tough situations. It is important to educate yourself and others about this topic. So I hope you continue to do so. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time.